It's the morning show with Parker and James. On the phone with us right now is, I grew up with this guy. You were one of my idols, man, growing up. It's, for all you Hulkamaniacs out there, is Hulk Hogan on the phone with us. Good morning, Hulk.
Yo, what up, Parker and James Mania? How you guys hanging?
We are doing fine, my brother. I got to tell you what, this is an honor to have you here on the show. And, I haven't seen you on TV wrestling in a while. I've seen you on the Hogan Knows show, and it's been fantastic seeing you on TV, brother.
Well, brother, all you got to do every Thursday night is turn on Spike TV, and I'm on Impact, Total Nonstop Action Wrestling. Every Thursday night I'm running that company.
Okay, cool.
And what's special about this Thursday is as soon as Impact ends,
right,
we've got a new show called Reaction, which as soon as the action ends, we're going to follow the wrestlers with these 70 peekaboo behind-the-scenes cameras and show people a side of the business, the inside of the business that nobody's ever seen before, the drama, what the wrestlers talk about,
sure,
what they're really like. So I get a feeling it's supposed to be a support system, this reaction show for our big show Impact.
Sure.
But I got a feeling it's so hot from the footage I've seen, it might be our flagship show, brother, and it starts this Thursday.
No kidding. No, is this kind of like a reality, behind-the-scenes kind of thing? Like they're following the cameras around?
Look, it's not scripted, bro. It's what's really going on. When you see someone bleeding in the ring or getting all sweaty and beat up, as soon as the show ends, we're going to follow what happens.
Wow, man.
And then we've got stuff behind the scenes that nobody's ever seen before. I think it's going to really freak people out. I'm all excited about it.
Now, what's it like? I mean, you had the cameras following you around for so long with your show, some of your other shows. What's it like? I mean, you can't even do anything private, it seems. Like the camera's always on you.
Well, that whole reality show, Hogan Knows Best, was scripted. It was contrived,
Okay.
My son Nick would be doing homework, or he'd be on the computer, and the producers would go, "Hey, go make water balloons and throw them at the neighbors or something." So it wasn't really, anything that's lightly scripted or contrived or contrived programming. It doesn't give you the real feel of what we were all about. But
sure.
I did the show basically because, not to throw the dirt out there, but the truth is my marriage was already destroyed and unraveled, and I was trying to keep Linda and my family together. So that's why I did the show, because everybody wanted to do the show, and Linda was unhappy, and she was lost, and what am I going to do with myself? And I was 40 all these years, and what about my life and my career? So I figured maybe this might be the glue to hold the pieces together, but it was too far gone.
Yeah, man, that's sorry, brother. When you see that on TV unfold like that, it's going to be rough being in the public eye with trying to do with stuff that's your personal life, man. That's your life. You were married to her, and that's a personal thing. It must be so tough to have to deal with that in front of the paparazzi and the cameras and everything else.
Well, no, I made a choice. And my family made a choice. Everybody wanted to do the reality show, but the tough part is on a personal level, when you think you really know somebody after being married 23 years, and the paparazzi, exposes that, your ex-wife is, really attracted to young children, 17 and 18 years old. That's a tough one to take, but then you kind of move on and get over it and realize that that's who they really are, and you forgive them and love them for who they are, But at first, it's a tough hit because that whole ego thing's involved. But as soon as you get by that,
that's sure.
And I'm cool. I got hooked up with a beautiful young lady, and
I
feel kind of like a pervert anyway. I'm 56 years old, and she's 36.
Yeah, right. Nothing wrong with that, though. She's over 18, so you're lucky.
Yeah, thank God.
And not like Linda. Not to go there, but we did. I got a question for you too. The thing is, when did you know that things were not quite right with your marriage? What were some of the clues?
Probably about 3 years into it.
Really? Really? That early?
Yeah. I was married 23 years. I just remember about 3 years into it, I went to Linda's mom and said, I just can't, this wine thing. It went from just drinking a couple glasses to it starts during the day and it goes on all night, and I can't get her to back off. And my ex-wife's mother goes, "Well, you married her." And I went, "Oh, my God," because I knew there were problems at home when she was younger.
Yeah.
And I didn't really take it to heart too much. I figured kids arguing with their parents, leaving home early, and doing certain things with, that now I didn't want to get into it, but it just, I knew there were some problems early on. But I was so in love with the person, you walk around blind sometimes. Sure.
Now, you just took part in the Comedy Central roast of Hasselhoff as well.
Brutal?
Yeah, I love those roasts, dude. I do. What are some of the things that, how did you take part in that, I should say?
Well, I was one of the ones roasting Hasselhoff, but I really think myself and Pam Anderson probably got it worse than him.
Yeah, right.
they just kept banging on me all night about being gay, you know. And I was like, I knew the first joke, you know. It started out, Seth MacFarlane goes, all these celebrities have something in common. They're old, they're washed up, they're out of work, and look at Hulk Hogan and Pam Anderson. Both got blonde hair, both got great tans, and they both made a living sitting on a you know what.
Right.
And I went, well, where did that come from? Then it never stopped.
Yeah.
They beat on me all night long about being gay. I went, wow, what did I do that I don't remember?
I'm surprised nobody picked on you for having a deep orange tan, brother.
Oh, they did, and I was just so glad my daughter wasn't there because they really beat on her.
Well, that's the thing. You know, Brooke, how's her singing career doing?
Bro, she's still beating that thing up. You know, she did a show up in New York this week for a bunch of record people, and there's a ton of interest, but you know, the record labels don't even know how to sell records anymore. Well,
that's just it. I was actually I met her backstage a couple of years ago in Boston, and I kind of hung out with her, and we were talking a little bit, and that's kind of what she was saying is basically she's left to promote it on herself in reality.
Well, that's what she's still trying to do, you know, and I pray for her every day. She's a really great person, but what a horrible field to choose. That's going to be the toughest job there is to make it in the music business.
Yeah. Has she been asking you for a lot of advice? Because, when you were in the ring, you commanded it. You owned it. You owned the crowd. You owned whoever you were fighting against. You owned it. You were you were the premier guy that kind of took it to a promotional level. I mean, you understood, from what I could gather, you understood the promotional aspect of what it was to do. Yeah, the wrestling part was important, but you understood connecting with everybody else too.
Well, it's called having a presence or having instinct, and
sure.
And basically, being dialed in on the vibe that's happening in the room or the building. And Brooke's got all that. She's got the it factor.
Sure.
But I don't really give her advice anymore because she's going through one of these phases now where she's kind of like doing everything on her own. And I kind of tried to help, and when it's time to back away and let her do her own thing.
Right.
That's kind of where we're at now. I wish her the best. She's making a lot of good choices, and I wish I could kind of be there to protect her. But right now, she's 22 years old and she wants to do her own thing. So I've got a lot of faith in her.
Now, are you one of these people that if you feel strongly that she's making a mistake, are you going to let her make her own mistakes? Or are you going to kind of step in and help her out?
No. I stepped in with something about a month ago. She was pretty much dialed in to do a dating show on VH1. And I told her, I said, Brooke, I don't see the upside. I mean, unless, we could totally turn it around where it looked like I was pushing you.
Right.
Where I've got my life together and I'm engaged and you need to step up at 22 years old and find something. Unless we put all the heat on me, anytime you do a dating show, you either get clowned out or look desperate,
Sure.
And so I kind of told her that unless you really need to do this and you're serious and you really have to have this, I would really think twice about this because this could change your whole direction of your future. So she, gracefully backed away.
And now with your son Nick, obviously everybody knew about the accident. What was going through that like for you guys? I mean, you stuck together as a family, I imagine.
Well, it was tough. Yeah, we tried. Linda had already left. She already had a whole other agenda. We were living down in Miami, and she kept driving back to Tampa, and was doing her thing, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. And then when I came back to Tampa, she split to L.A., and she was already gone. So I had Nick and the whole precision driving team staying with me, and John was living with us. He was a good friend, and it was just an accident. So
right.
For that situation to happen and to have the podunk mentality of the town that we lived in bang on him so hard, and no one had ever gone to jail before for reckless driving and serious bodily harm.
Right.
And when they put Nick in jail, the first one in 30 years, I thought he was singled out, especially after he was in jail. And we had 4 more wrecks with serious bodily harm. We had 4 more wrecks with reckless driving charge where the passenger died.
Yeah.
And those people that were driving only got probation.
Yeah. It's kind of one of those.
I figured, well, Nick was definitely singled out.
Singled out because they could make more of an impact because he was in the public eye because of who he was and who his father was.
Election year, judge is coming up for election.
Exactly.
The prosecuting attorney's coming up for election. High-profile case, biggest thing that ever happened in this little one-horse town. You know the deal.
Sure, exactly. All right, Hulk, we got to go. I just heard the beep, so thanks a lot, brother, for being on the show. TNA Reaction is on Spike TV. When does it air?
Thursday night, brother. We got Impact, and as soon as Impact's over, we got our brand new show, Reaction. Thank you for the opportunity. What you gonna do, brother?
All right, thanks a lot.